This right here is my shit, man. Behind every solid hero is an even greater villain. Some might say that's stupid, and what the hell am I even talking about? You see, the way some people might judge you by the company you keep, I judge a hero based on their villains. But fuck everything I just said, because I'm not really here to talk about the kind of writing that I love to see being displayed. I'm simply here to talk about bullshit decisions villains make because writers like to make them stupid when the plot demands it, or even kill them off. Because the plot demands it. I swear, the fucking plot is the puppet master in writing, seated at a throne while it laughs and shits on other devices and story elements, like an asshole, as if it's a god and everyone else is his peasants. If the plot wants it, it's gonna happen. Greedy little fuck. Stories are crafted with the intent of pulling an audience in and entertain them, while also keeping them immersed. I get why certain tropes are used, and how writing around some points or aspects of a story can be difficult. So I'm not here to really shit on writing of any characters or the writers themselves. For the purpose of this video, I want to approach this as a fly on the wall in these fictional worlds with a fully developed and functioning brain, mine preferably. Alright, let me not even waste any more time. For the first one, I hate a villain who has crafted the perfect plan and knows exactly how things will pan out, like they can see the future. Usually, these villains are smart, or rather the writer wants you to think they're smart and are too lazy to successfully show it. But sometimes, yeah, they're actually smart. These sorts of villains are so smart that their plans are so perfect that it never matters what happens because somehow it was always according to plan. Protagonist walked away with a big victory? All according to plan. The protagonist threw a massive wrench into the villain's plan? All according to plan. The protagonist woke up and took a shit and their piss was yellow the first thing in the morning? All according to plan. I'ma call this the all according to plan trope. Creative, yeah, I know. Oh boy, if Bleach fans find this one, I'm gonna be in some trouble. Yeah, they probably won't. I hate how Aizen comes across as this all-seeing, all-knowing chess master, and how he has puppeteered everything working from the shadows this entire time, so that everything that has happened has been because he wanted it to happen that way or he expected it to happen that way. And that's not even mentioning how OP he is. For someone so OP to lose because deep down they wanted to lose is some grade A Arthur glazing. Yep, nothing quite like it. I'm not gonna lie, when a villain is so OP and the author believes them to be so dope, this is the shit that happens. The only person who could beat them is them. Or the plot. But I'm not here to poke and prod at that point. The larger issue I have is when a character is smart just because. If a character simply knows something will happen without any reason, or better yet, they planned it, and if we never see why, my eyes roll into the back of my skull. Let me even remove this off of Aizen for a sec. Let's say a villain knows about a baby's potential from birth or even as a kid. They leave them be out of curiosity to see if one day if they could possibly be an equal or even defeat them. The villain then allows all of that to happen, and eventually loses in part of that child's efforts. Oh wait, that part actually wasn't according to plan? I imagine that the all according to plan ass villains would have the foresight to take out the possible threat early on, but no. Gotta find a worthy adversary to test herself. Curiosity really does kill the cat, doesn't it? But on some real shit, Aizen just proclaims that he set shit in motion and we believe him because why not? We're just supposed to take his word and be like, damn, he's smart as fuck. We're just told and not shown it. We aren't shown any of his plotting in the shadows. Not a single breadcrumb was dropped. I have no issues with Aizen being smart, but you gotta show the work, man. Like back in math classes, you have to show how you arrived at your final point. And if you can't, even if you arrived at the right answer, you're going to have points deducted. Aizen was just out here on some Attack on Titan shit, telling Kubo way back what to write to set everything in motion. Aizen was playing God watching Ichigo all along. Man literally sat down and watched all of those filler episodes. Not gonna lie, Aizen watching filler episodes is some nasty work. While Aizen might not be my cup of tea, I see why many love him. But just simply showing those breadcrumbs along the way to show why he's so smart and several moves ahead of everyone else would have boosted my perception of him. Like in Death Note, even if you believe Light and L were on some bullshit, at least we were able to see their plans and thought process after the fact. I probably should have started this by saying that I dropped Bleach somewhere in the Fullbringer arc, so whatever saucy shit Aizen does in the 1000-year Blood War, I'm not privy to that information. Nor can I say that maybe my opinion on him wouldn't improve, so take what I say with a grain of salt. But yeah, regardless, the Justice I planned as villains who are smart just because is annoying to me. I know, for a video titled Dog Water Villain Tropes, I just gave an unpopular dog water take. I'll take that. Damn, I probably should have started with this one instead. Every time I see this next trope, it's like getting slapped across the face with a warm bag of piss from a person who just finished eating a plate of asparagus a few hours ago. I hate when a villain has someone captured, they talk their shit, then tells their henchmen to kill the prisoner, all before leaving without seeing the prisoner who was captured die. When it comes to this trope, we all know the deal. We can spot it miles away. The villain shows up to face the prisoner, the villain will come in, they get to monologuing about how their mother didn't show them enough love as a kid, they tell the character their plans, they taunt them a bit, and then they dip out of there. Why don't they just fucking stay around and wait to see the prisoner's lights go out when they want them dead and have no other use for them alive? I'll never know. This annoys me even more when the villain is a lethal threat and could easily kill the person that's being held as a prisoner, because we all know the second the villain leaves, that prisoner is gonna escape. Yes, for the purpose of the story, that's why villains leave. And also because the fucking plot demands it. The plot dictates that the person who got captured needs to be alive for the following act. Greedy little fuck. And you know what else could make these scenarios even worse? If the prisoner who broke free and escaped was all according to plan. Alright man, let me stop before people seriously start thinking that I'm shitting on Aizen. I don't want that smoke. Depending on the story, that last bit could actually be a pretty useful tactic. Not gonna lie. I realize this is a pretty convenient way of revealing the villain's plan, and it gives the heroes time to formulate a plan of their own to combat the villain, and all because the villain gets very moist talking about their plan. Only for them to leave the room while their prisoner is still alive.
I want you to meet Daddy's nemesis, Austin Power.
What are you feeding him? Why don't you just kill him?
No, Scott, I have an even better idea. I'm going to place him in an easily escapable situation involving an overly elaborate and exotic death.
Why don't you just shoot him now?
Just messy work all across the board, man. I can't condone this horse shit. And like last year's underwear, they need to be tossed in the trash. Am I the only one who likes it more when one of the villain's right-hand man gets captured and squeals like a pig right before a slaughter? Or they share the same detest as the main villain does and they're essentially a mouthpiece so that the heroes get goosebumps and learn the type of timing that the main villain is on without having to actually face off, where realistically some important people should die, but actually won't because the plot demands it. Nope. Just me? Got it. Well, I'm just thinking out loud here, and this is not to say there aren't ways for villains and heroes to have a face-off before the final battle. But this whole I'ma head out and give you a chance to escape that villains do is just not for me. All this trope does is create a counterplan that the heroes would otherwise have never came up with because they wouldn't have been privy to the villain's plan if not for someone within their group getting captured to escape and tell the tale. While watching it, I can't help but feel that the villains are lazy. For example, Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a problem. He can pull up to the turtles like Bloody Mary in the middle of the night and solo all of them. Yet he has the foot ninjas f***ing around and getting beaten up time after time again. I don't even think that it's 100% laziness either, because I feel there's a sense of arrogance to it, like getting their hands dirty is beneath them. Well, would you rather keep taking L's or get the job done efficiently, sir? Why are you villains like this? Lock in and pick it the fuck up. Honestly, you guys could swap out a bunch of villains for Shredder here. I don't know why I got Shredder on my mind on a Tuesday afternoon, but whatever. Take your pick of the litter. The last trope that I have here is straight dumpster juice. It's when the villain stalls when they could kill the main character easily. Now, I'm biased, because I could easily mention Conquest right here. But no, the man was lonely, okay? Now, these other villains on the other hand get no pass out of me. Cell always comes to mind with this particular trope. Man wanted to have a good ass fight and tried to awaken Gohan. So when Gohan finally pulled that big ass beast out and bent Cell over, Cell couldn't handle all of that Saiyan. It was too much for him to handle. He got salty and was ready to blow up the whole planet. And that's the funniest part about it. When you're finally given that top tier level of fight that you've pushed for, you feel some type of way about it and get pissed off. You didn't actually want to get tested, because if you did, why would you go as far as to being petty enough to blow up the planet for losing? Why?
Why?
I've mentioned this before in a previous video, but Cell would have nowhere to go after the Cell Saga if he had done that and lived. You would have had nothing to do after you regenerated. You were literally created to fight, especially with all of that Saiyan DNA inside of you. He thought he wanted a good fight until he started to get his ass busted. The amount of stalling and trauma poking that these villains do should be studied, but similar to the villains who leave their henchmen to do the dirty work and allow their hero to escape, the villains that stall are no different. Obviously, it's in some characters' nature to play with their food and savor the fight, but not every villain's dick gets hard at the thought of battle. I'll admit that I'm probably being biased for this particular trope as well, because I love rooting for the bad guy. But when they do this, they open the door for fumbling a lot of easy dubs. Like Cell made Gohan look like LeBron coming back from a 3-1 hole versus the Warriors in the finals. Cell literally pushed Gohan into displaying an all-time performance. He made Gohan put up a stat line that no one else in the history of the league has been able to do by going Super Saiyan 2, and all because Cell wanted to bullshit around. This also applies when the villain wants the hero to suffer. So many opportunities to end the hero, but none of them are taken. When it's that personal for a villain, you know damn well they're about to fumble big time. Anyway, there are a ton of tropes that are straight up summer sweat rolling down your crack kinda ass. So, let me know down below which villain tropes you just can't stand, or even the ones that you absolutely love. Until next time.